is a universal human behaviour. It's a universal human instinct.
People flirt because, well, I guess it's almost a biological and social thing.
And there are different reasons for flirting. One way is to genuinely gauge sexual interest, sexual or romantic interest.
Biologically, we're all programmed to need a mate as such, but over the years it's become more like of a routine to find someone to be with for your whole life, rather than, just making babies.
Flirting itself is a way of gauging intelligence, and it gauges reading between the lines, understanding what isn't being said.
How do you rather meet men, online or in real life? What's your preferences?
Real life, definitely in real life, not online.
And why is that?
I just believe that if you're meant to meet somebody, whether it be relationship or friendship or in any way, you're meant to meet them in real life and not via a social or an anti-social network.
Because you get to know them better, you get to actually see their personality. If you speak to someone online, you don't know what they're like, you don't hear their voice, you don't know what they're into.
I'm kind of old school.
Okay.
So I'm kind of looking for just like normal kind of relationship, just like socially. In clubs, kind of in a pub, or just when I see a stunning woman walking down the road.
I would rather meet them in a social environment.
Social environment?
Yeah.
And why do you think this is a better way to meet people?
I just believe that, you can get the vibe of people when you're kind of in their faces, rather than online. You never know who is behind the computer.
Well, the two scenarios are quite different. So you send someone a message online, there's always a waiting period. So that waiting period, when they reply, or a potential waiting period if they take a while to reply. So, say someone replies straight away, that's a happy feeling. If it takes them later to reply, that's still a happy feeling, because the waiting creates tension. And so when that tension is finally over, no matter how long it is, there's still a happy feeling. Is it the same happy feeling? I'm not really sure. In person, the dynamic has shifted. You're together in your own little environment. Even though you maybe just met that person, there's still a level of intimacy. It's just you and them talking and getting to know each other. So whether or not it's the same, or even if it translates well, I'm not actually sure.
Men are much more willing to approach a woman online than they are to go into a bar, because I suppose they don't want to come across as needy or kind of sleazy in a way. But online, you are both looking for that kind of connection, and you know that you're both on a dating site for a certain reason.
How do you rather meet women, face-to-face or online?
Make contact with them online and then meet them face-to-face soon after that.
The online sites such as Tinder or any dating app, or anything online, not even dating, you get to craft your own persona. You can very much create your own fantasy self. So it could be easily the case you might like the person that is online more than you might like the person when you finally meet them.
So with online dating, you don't have that kind of pressure also. So you can say what you want to someone and not have like the implications of what a date, say if you met someone in a bar, it'd be much different from what you're saying to them, because everything is there, like your interests, like your different pictures, where you've been, your age, which is much more trickier now, like within your regular day-to-day life, to find someone.
I think I prefer to meet someone face to face, because it's easier in the sense of you can see how the person looks like. You definitely know that person is who they say they are. When you meet someone through social media, they can seem to be a completely different person to what they're making out to be.
People can tell you lies over the internet, that kind of stuff. If you meet someone face to face, you get a much better kind of judgment of what they're like, how they are around you. I prefer to meet people through other people I know.
Yeah, social life, yeah.
And why is this better for you?
We just get more of a real connection, you know? When you meet someone, have a conversation, it's more real. Than online, you're posting stuff, could be fake, you know what I mean?
You're forcing a connection that might not necessarily have meant to be connected with.
The online world is very much about quick, immediate gratification. So again, this plays into the fantasy part.
If you are a shy person, it's much easier to kind of meet people online. And I know quite a few friends who have actually not dated before and find it really hard dating, but when they go online, it's just much easier. They can like express who they are completely.
The expectation that I get from women is very much, you have to entertain me. That's the expectation I see online, like demanding of good banter, and there's a lot of you have to talk first. You know, some of these expectations are perfectly safe and fine. Just like, I expect you to talk first. Okay, that's fine. But expectations are very tricky things because your expectations could be unfair or too high, and they could just be a wrong sort of expectation, like the expectation of being entertained.
If you meet them online, there's a good chance they could be not real. They're trying to pretend to be, basically.
Online or real life?
Real life.
Real life, and why real life is better?
Because you know you're talking to, you don't get catfished.
I think looks is quite important, and like a lot of people can be catfishes. Like in person, maybe they don't actually look like how they are in the picture.
Yeah.
Can like Photoshop, you know, all these kind of things can just be dangerous. And for example, catfishing as well. Like it can look like a guy, for example, can look really handsome, but then when you meet him, it's like absolutely different person. So you don't know.
Ex-boyfriend, I met him through face to face. Like he came and approached me, and that we were together for 3 years.
You have to be willing to very much just go up to strangers, willing to be rejected. And you have to take that. You have to take it on the chin if you get rejected.
Women are taught to be quite kind of like, they're supposed to be shy, reserved, kind of like not too forward. That's what we're taught as from a young age. We're supposed to be quite closed off and reserved and classy.
What they don't realise is that the women are actually initiating the flirting. They are actually the first agent in establishing something, and then they're inviting the men to say, a men they might find attractive. Okay, here is your opening. What are you going to do with that?
Are you gonna be comfortable if someone start talking to without you knowing him?
Yeah, because it happens all the time.
Okay.
It depends person, the way he talks. Not that easy.
Depends on how they approach you and what words they say as well. Because some people would come up to me like, oh yeah, you got a man, like just straight away. And obviously you're just not going to be interested.
So if I'm being approached in a way that's very forward and very like say if they come up and be like, hey beautiful or something, I'd be like, alright, okay, what's this guy want?
What if the guy stops you on the street and say that, he likes you and stuff?
I don't know. That would be pretty awkward, to be honest. Because some people just like me, like whistling at guys because they just want like girls. Like, oh, she looks amazing. So like, so I don't really like those kind of guys. So I would not make a conversation.
So it depends on the approach of the people.
Exactly.
For men, it's really more, the emphasis isn't on what if there is an opportunity. It's men are very much encouraged to create the opportunity.
Do you go and talk to women on the street sometimes?
Yes, if I find them attractive, then I will go up to them and talk to them.
Do you think it's gonna be bad if they say they reject you, or you ask them for number or something?
Not really, you just kind of move on with it. You're never going to see them again, so...
If they reject me, then you just move on to the next.
Men are supposed to be more forward and more confident and like express these kind of emotions rather than women. Women generally are being chased and men usually are the chasers.
If you're talking specifically about the interaction of the chase, it might provide them a sense of focus, enjoyment. When he pursues a woman and that woman reciprocates, that's a very happy feeling that releases all sorts of chemicals and satisfaction when someone reciprocates your affection and your attention. We do hear women say they like confident men, and this comes from experience and previous triumphs.
There is a difference between like saying no and then playing the game, I find. If I'm saying no, I don't want anything, I'm fine, like you should know that, okay, that's fine, I'll leave you alone.
What's too far? There are obviously this is the thing, this is why flirting is can be quite difficult, because again, it's not overt. Flirting in romantic intrigue. It's supposed to be subtle, and the reason for this is to actually avoid social embarrassment, so you don't get overtly rejected and seem unappealing.
Obviously we get like a boost of like adrenaline when someone will approach us, but that's not necessarily a positive thing.
In this case, men don't want to risk it, because they could actually lose more than gain with flirting, because if they just get outright rejected, especially publicly, they may very well risk future potential partners. And women generally are discouraged from open flirting through the typical slut-shaming tactics that are just not very good really for anybody, just sort of ruins everybody's time.
Approaching once is fine, and twice fine, but after that it gets a bit on the level of harassment, and it gets to be quite scary sometimes when it's really creepy.
It's up to every guy to just sort of figure that out. For guys, it's a constant learning curve.